la voz de LA. It's like una galaxiana, come and kick it with us. I bring the bossa nova beats and talk the club that we love. Another year to adjust, and well, Coons we all trust. 6 titles in the cabin, tell the haters shut up. Mirar al horizonte con el cielo morado. Llegamos al estadio como siempre lo hago. Es la nueva temporada, ya cumplí 30 años. Rezándole a San Pequi que no dé al travesaño. Que repartan los balones y no sean tacaños. Que regrese el contraataque y que le hagamos daño. Un saludo para Robert, hermanos ecuatorianos. Que la táctica de Ananda nunca sean en vano. Si se trata de mi gala me levanto temprano. Ver el fur en verano, en el pasto tumbado. Siempre estoy a tu lado, en cualquier resultado. Vamos Galaxy, on top is where I gotta be. Chilling in the canopy, staging like a winery. Goles during rivalries, brew from the refinery. Only want the finer things, we letting you know. Lo que pasa en la galaxia, ready, let's start the show.
Hello, hola, and buenas, and welcome back to another episode of La Cuna Galaxiana, a podcast always made with love for all you LA Galaxy fans and all you international soccer fans as well. You have a home here, and welcome back home. And today, for the LA Galaxy, it says, first, if you don't succeed, try again, and the Galaxy will try to do just that as they travel to the Pacific Northwest to take on the team that knocked them out of the League's Cup and gave them one of their worst recent losses in recent memory, the Seattle Sounders, on Saturday, September 13th, in a match that has no real bearing on the season for the Galaxy other than pride. We'll be joined by special guest Ari Liljenwall of the Lobbing Scorchers podcast. We'll be here to break down everything you need to know about the Sounders before another matchup and what has them playing so well at the moment. We'll take a look at the environment that the Galaxy could find at Lumen Field, what LA needs to do to start this game well and with intensity. If they learned anything from the previous 2 losses, who needs to be perfect for the Galaxy to get anything from this match? And if Brian Schmetzer having Greg Vanney's number makes it so this feels like a loss even before kickoff. Plus, we give you an international soccer roundup as the World Cup inches even closer to kickoff here in the U.S., and people have thrown their lot in for tickets. All that and much more coming up on tonight's episode of La Cuna Galaxiana. But before we go any further, let me introduce myself. I'm one of your co-hosts, Rob Jalon. You can find me online at El Escudero de LA, and you can find my written work at the Sporting Tribune. And my co-host is here with me as usual. You know him, you love him, El Yerno Guapo, El Gitano Perdido, wearing orange today, El Papa de Natita, Ananda Kirana. Pew, Papa. It's another matchup with Seattle. Yay!
Yay! Are we going to get our asses kicked again? Yay! I guess we'll see, right? We'll talk to Ari about that. But yeah, man, I mean, look, for all intents and purposes, the season is just about over. We're going to go through all the scenarios as well, where it could officially be over. But who knows? Maybe there's some pride to play for. Maybe the Galaxy have something up their sleeve, an ace up their sleeve. Who knows? But yeah, man, we'll talk about all that. We'll talk about the international break for sure. A lot of very interesting World Cup qualifiers. That you says I'm wearing an Oranje shirt, and of course you are supporting your club, your nation, La Tri, which I definitely want to talk about because, man, I watched some of your games, Papa, and hey, you guys got a little team going on over. You guys got a little team, so we're gonna talk about all that.
A little team, indeed. There we go.
And maybe a little USMNT with Ari as well, because one of his boys got the starting nod last match, which I thought was an interesting call. But no, man, really quick before we get started,
I didn't. I called for it. Remember?
Yeah, you did. You're a brujo. You're a brujo for sure. No, just really quick. Chat's already popping off, so I wanted to say what's up to everyone in chat. I just want to say too, man, I hope you guys are well. It's as in Spain they say, Papa, today hoy es jueves, right? It's one more day until the weekend, so you guys are almost there. Look,
hey, Papa, it's a freaking weekend for me already right now.
But you know, I'm glad of the good spirits, man, because it's a wild, wacky world out there. So I'm just glad that everyone is here. Everyone is, has good spirits. everyone's safe and all that good stuff, man. And I just want to like put out the I just want to push some P, right? That's what the kids say, push and P. Get some push and P, man. Pushing some positivity. That's what it is. Don't you be this is gonna get NC-17 X-rated real quick. So don't you give me that. Don't you give me that.
Oh, I just didn't know that the kids said that. Like
yeah.
Man,
so like I said, it's a wild and wacky world out there. So thank you guys for being with us. Of course, like I think soccer and this stuff, like man, we use it as escapism. So whether you're with us live right now, whether you're listening to this on your morning commutes or your late commutes or in your lunch break at the gym, whatever, we're just happy to be with you guys and like give you some of that relief, right? Give you some of that escapism. I think that we all kind of look for and seek. So no, man, just happy to be here. Happy to be with everyone in chat. And Baba, we got a lot to get through.
Mucho.
So yeah, we got a lot to get through. So let me just go through all the housekeeping stuff, and then you can pop on as well and get your plugs out of the way and get to these announcements. And I definitely want to talk about the World Cup break for sure before we get Ari on. So guys, you can always follow me, block me, or stalk me at Ananda Galaxiana. Of course, both of our tags are right there. You can find Rob, as he said, at El Escudero. You can find him on Sporting Tribune. Catch all of his written articles there, even though he's still learning how to read and write. So, you know, it is what it is.
One day.
Yeah. Just comes with the territory. Of course, you can find us on all of your socials at Lacuna Galaxiana. Pretty simple handle there. And of course, guys, we are just 18 subs away from 700. So help get us there. Help us get to that magical number of 700. Go ahead and subscribe. Also, hit those notification bells because you'll know when good, amazing, awesome guests like Ari come on. I started posting stuff on the bulletin board as well, so you guys can go ahead and check that out. And yeah, all the information is there. You can follow us on our socials. That's the best way to keep up with us. And what else, Papa? Oh, super chats. Get if you guys have a burning question that you want to ask Rob or myself or Ari when he comes on, go ahead and to make sure you get your question read, go ahead and hit us up with a super chat. And in all seriousness, guys, it really does help us like keep the lights on. I mean, every dollar that you donate to us, we put back in the show. We invest, in equipment. We get the StreamYard popping. Rob has been using this little like really cool nifty DJI camera that we got some leaks coverage for you guys. So
we bring you live footage of those post-match pressers as well.
Live footage of the post-match. So yeah, all that does help keep the lights on and pay for the water, gas, and all that stuff for this show. So yeah, anything obviously is appreciated, but go ahead and do that if you so wish. If not, it's all good because we're happy that you guys are here with us and hanging out in chat and making our evenings. So, Papa, what else? Anything else? Any plugs?
I'm just want to say thank you to chat for showing love to us, man. Thank you guys to the Sounders fans that are here showing love. We hope we can be that objective podcast that's just not going to be homerisms. And for you Galaxy fans that have been rocking with us for a while, man, it's nothing but love. And for you anybody that's new here, you know what, hopefully you like what you hear, and much love to you as well. And that's pretty much it for me. And like we said, we got Ari to get to, and he's really the reason we're here. So let me break into some announcements.
Yeah, before you do that, of course, como siempre, Papa, antes de olvidarme, buenos días, tardes o noches, y bienvenidos a otro capítulo de La Cuna Galaxiana. And before you get into your first shout out, I want to get my first shout out in there with a happy early birthday to my co-host, the host with the most, Mr. Roldan.
Hey, thank you, man.
Shout out, Papa. When is your actual birthday? I should know this, but is it Saturday or is it a different day?
It is Saturday, so I'm hoping for a Galaxy win. That's all I want.
There you go. Birthday. Well, I mean, you are turning 21, so we should pop up to Vegas. Get sick with it with a cabana and a pool party, right? That's how you do it.
Exactly. I mean, well, you're
speaking of rich Galaxy fans.
You're the rich and famous one. I mean, you're gonna fly us out on the jet.
Nah, but anyways, Baba, happy early birthday for sure.
Thank
and
you,
so,
Baba.
Chat, go ahead and wish him an early birthday. Faux show.
Chat, thank you so much. Well, let's get into some announcements. Man, that's kind of like from a birthday to a just a very sensitive topic here. You know, it is 9/11. It is the 24th anniversary of the 9/11 attacks. Man, it was a crazy day. Ananda, I don't know if you know this, but you know, the family lost a primo in one of the planes, man. So Mama Jalan lost a primo. So, you know, that one hit close to home. Yeah. You know, so man, anybody that's over, you know, a certain age can remember where they were when this happened. Anyway, hopefully something like that never happens again. Moving right along, congrats to friend of the show, Lex, aka LA Galaxy 310, for being featured on episode 1 of Legacy Lives Here, a new mini video series created by Modelo, Mitu, and the Galaxy. In the first episode, Brother Lex shares how him and his pop have a special bond with the Galaxy, like over the Galaxy. And you know, I just it's great seeing somebody that, first off, that we've featured on the show, but second off, that really is a true G. And I'm a sucker for a papa story. Like, so you know, like everybody knows I'm both a mama's boy and a daddy's boy. So I mean, you gotta love your parents, man. So it's so nice to see this kind of content come out. So Lex, shout out to you, man.
Shout out, man.
And we have a super chat. G Cam says, happy early birthday, Rob. Thank you so much. Tu yo Iraquino. Thank you so much, man. We really appreciate it. 3 G's were called up. 3 G's. Yeah. To the U15 and U16 national team camp in Fayetteville, Georgia. Defenders Matthew Leon and goalkeeper Luka Shevchenko were called up to the U15s, and Jaden Pass was called up to the U16s. Both camps will take place there in Georgia from September 12th to September 19th. So those boys will be there for a week. So congratulations to them. We have FIFA, or as it's called now, EAFC 26 ratings coming out, because this game is about to drop. And yes, I know everybody's going to complain about how terrible it is, but nevertheless, it is coming out. So we got Galaxy ratings here. I believe these are the top 2 rated, right, Ananda?
I think so. Yeah. So 80 for Riqui Puig, 79 at Royce. And if you guys are wondering, Royce was downgraded from an 81. Puig was upgraded from a 78 to an 80. So there you go.
Well, Ananda, I know we were just talking about this today, but there's some debate on whether you should pick this game up or not. You know, it remains to be seen if it's going to be an improvement on the last offering. Like I said, everybody just universally pans the EAFC series and then winds up picking it up anyway, so you can play pro clubs with your friends. But anyway, hopefully it is an improvement. It's supposed to be. So we'll see what happens. Guys, on Saturday, November 20th, at home versus
September.
Sorry about that. Saturday, September.
November. Whoa,
Papa. What did I say? What did I say? November?
You said November. You're really looking at that Thanksgiving dinner already.
Man, I really am. I'm really looking forward to that turkey, man. Okay, look. Saturday, September 20th, for the Galaxy's home match versus FC Cincinnati. There will be the last pups at the pitch. So you need to take your furry friend down there. There's going to be a pregame activation at Galaxy Park. It's going to be Galaxy Doggy Park for the day. There's going to be a bunch of activities, vendors, and all that kind of good stuff, giveaways. If you are a season ticket member, all you got to do is go on your fan account and add this into your little bucket there and you know, check out. If you're not, you can get the ticket pack for $35. So hopefully you make it there on the 20th. What won't be so easy to get will be World Cup tickets. Man, it was a shambles. So we have announced already that the Visa pre-sale draw would be opening, and it opened for some people. We'll get into that, but yeah, it opened yesterday at the time of this recording, and will be open until Friday, September 19th if you have a valid Visa card. But it was, like I mentioned, kind of a shambles. There was reports of websites crashing at 8 a.m. and wait times of over an hour to get your entry in. I can attest to that. I both got a website crash 2 times, and then had a situation where I actually got in there, and this one was on me. I forgot my password, had to reset my password, and then had to get back in there, and had to get back in the queue. And then when I got back in the queue, it was an hour.
Oof.
So all told, I went through the process 4 times. I probably ended the process around 11:30, and obviously I started trying at 8. So if you got your entry in there, good job. You have until Friday. It was, like I said, kind of a situation there. Tickets, of course, are starting at $60, and the draw is yet to happen, so you still have a little bit of time. Man, I'm interested to see if Ari had any success, or like what his plan is for the tournament. But anyway, FIFA is going to start notifying applicants no earlier than 9/29. If your entry was selected, dates and time slots are going to be given to be able to purchase tickets. Time starts on 10/1. However, even if you get a time slot, even if you are selected, even if you have the good fortune to be one of the fortunate ones, you are still subject to availability at time of purchasing. So even if you get a chance to get tickets, your particular game might not be available. So cross your fingers that you get an earlier date and time slot so you can get the game that you want. Of course, if you missed out on this phase, there will be other opportunities. October 27th to 31st. December 5th will be the final draw. And in mid-December, you'll have a random selection draw, and that'll be the last opportunity to get tickets for this World Cup, except for, the resale market. And speaking of the World Cup, you had the final shakeup here in CONMEBOL of the teams that would be going, Ananda. This one interests me heavily because obviously I'm Ecuadorian, so just wearing the shirt today because they did big things. They did big things all qualifying, but a team that will be ruining its missed chances is Venezuela. The Vino Tinto misses out after losing 6-3 to Colombia. Just a shellacking there. Chile and Uruguay played a scoreless draw. Paraguay beat Peru 1-0, and Bolivia upsets the 5-time World Cup champion Brazil 1-0 to steal that last CONMEBOL playoff spot to keep their 2026 World Cup qualification hopes alive. They will go into that playoff now. They have a chance to make history now for their country. And of course, speaking of history, I love a segue, Ananda. Yes, Ecuador has already made history with their qualification in this World Cup cycle. First off, they have a wonderful squad led by this man who Ecuadorians call La Cabra. There was a sign that said Messi's not playing because he's scared of the real Cabra. And I just gave a little chuckle. But this man has carried Ecuador now for the past 3 World Cup cycles, and he looks set to do it again. He was the man that carried Ecuador over Argentina 1-0. He puts away the penalty in first half injury time after there's a red card to Otamendi that is adjudged to be if you're Argentinian anyway, very harsh. And then one to Moises Caicedo. El Niño Moy gets one in the 50th minute. But it doesn't really matter. It shakes down to a 1-0. And now it's an Ecuador side, like I said, that is making history, Ananda.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pulling up the standings right now. I mean, this is pretty incredible, man. And correct me if I'm wrong, Papa. You guys had a -3
truth
point. What was that for again? I should have probably looked this up, but what was that for?
That is for the scandal of allegedly. This was actually never proven. But
yeah,
Byron Castillo being Colombian and them fielding him. But yeah. Anyway,
So super impressive, man. I mean, you look at that table, you wouldn't expect Ecuador to be in second place, right? Out of all those teams, they're already qualified through. So you look at CONMEBOL, man. I mean, everyone's attention is going to be on the defending champions, Brazil, even teams like Colombia, right? Like teams that have a lot of pedigree in CONMEBOL. But bro, I mean, I'm looking at the Ecuador team. I paid it a lot of attention because, of course, Hincapié just signed for Arsenal, so I have a close eye to see how he played. By the way, he played masterfully. I think we have a hell of a player on our hands. But I look at that and I'm like, bro, like, I mean, I don't want to jinx it, but the way they play, I mean, they've got a lot of top talent in Europe, especially in the defensive side of the game. Moises Caicedo, right? You've got your back three. I mean, your back three itself, Papa. You've got Pacho, a Champions League winner. Hincapié, like I said, bags of quality, right? I mean, there's a lot of quality on this team. Should they be a team to fear for the World Cup? And I guess let me put it to you this way. You saw Morocco made a really, really nice run in 2022, making it to the semifinals of the World Cup. No one expected that. I was there for the Spain-Morocco game in that stadium. It was horrible, but you know what? Morocco, the way they played, and again, in international play, it's all about being tactically astute and really defensively sound. And Ecuador, Papa, I'm going to say it, man. They've got the underpinnings. I know you say they lack an attack, but boy, do they have the underpinnings of being a dark horse team. What do you think? How are you feeling right now?
Oh no, undoubtedly it's the high watermark for Ecuadorian football. It's wonderful to see these young lads play, and I say young lads because a lot of them are very young. I mean, Moises Caicedo, I believe, is 23 or 24 at most. Hincapié, same. I mean, they have. You always talk about that spine in the team, right? They have a wonderful spine for this team. The only thing they're missing there is, like I said, that striker. So the only thing that I think could derail them is themselves. And I'll explain here in a second. But you were talking about these international tournaments and how defense wins them. Well, Ecuador now has 540 minutes without conceding a goal here in qualifying. Only 2 conceded all of qualifying. That's 11 games undefeated, the best point total in Ecuador's qualifying history, despite starting -3 points. And this is an Ecuador team that has only begun to show how good it is. You only get this Ecuador team at a high level if you have harmony. And right now, Ananda, for whatever reason, there isn't harmony in Latri camp. Sebastian Becasese, the Latri coach, is under fire for some comments that he made about him, silly enough, him not singing the Ecuadorian national anthem when it was playing, because obviously he's Argentinian, and he's like, I sing my national anthem. So he came under fire, and he had people actually calling for his resignation and for him to be fired. Wow. One of those was Jefferson Montero, ex Latri international, and he says, and this one was a big one. I like the petty chisme. Apparently, according to Jefferson Montero, the new management team, should Becasese be fired, would be Jose Mourinho, and Antonio Valencia would be his assistant.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. So
like 8 months before the World Cup. Wow. That would be, I mean, hey, you know what? Mourinho with that Ecuador team, with those players, I think he could do some. I think there's something there, man. He could do some damage for sure. I could see that.
But look, this is what I said. The only thing that can derail this Ecuador team is Ecuador itself. There's no reason to switch this coach. Sure, he hasn't. This team hasn't scored a lot of goals, but they've conceded 2 goals in 15 games. You don't change that. I mean,
fair.
You have Enter Valencia. He's going to get you a couple goals here and there. You have to be just, again, don't get in your own way. Play the game you've been playing. And I think, like you said, you are going to see a dark horse team. I mean, they're definitely going to get out of the group, hopefully, unless it's a group of death, and then it's just crazy luck for them. But this should be an Ecuador team that goes as far as the quarterfinals.
Yeah, the other thing we got to remember too, guys, it's an expanded format this year. We don't know exactly how the format is. We assume it's like the groups that we've seen before, but it is an expanded format, so we don't know exactly, right? So, but yeah, I think, look, I think Ecuador is for sure dark horse, man. And by the way, at least the Jose Mourinho links make sense, not hiring Ange Postecoglou at Nottingham Forest, which is another story for another day.
Yeah, that's for Laguna After Dark. There is UEFA qualifications still ongoing at the moment. So when that's all said and done, we will go ahead and bring you more information on that. And here's the latest look on the qualified nations so far. And of course, you have the 3 host nations there at the very, very top. And how proud it makes me to see that Ecuadorian flag there as well. But speaking of the host nations, let's go ahead and get petty again and talk some U.S. men's national team. You know I love it. But before we get into it, let's go ahead and bring on the reason we're really here and the reason everybody in chat is really here. We know you, Dimi. So before we get into it, like I said, we want to go. Yes, all those cups.
I love that. Yeah, I mean, as a Galaxy fan, that is absolutely a sight for sore eyes. But you know what? I can't hate on that at all. That's absolutely deserving. And no shade, just respect, mad respect.
Yeah, mad respect. So speaking of mad respect, let's get to him. He is one of the hosts of Lobbing Scorchers podcast, the pod you really need to be up on if you are a Seattle Sounders fan. If you are a Galaxy fan and you just want to hate listen, you can do that too. He probably will welcome the listen. Please welcome to the show, Ari Liljenwall. How you doing, Papa?
I'm good, guys. Thanks for having me. That was a good choice of photo. I like that. That was our YouTube thumbnail from like a couple days ago.
Yeah,
but I'm glad you guys got use out of it.
Yeah, man. We we were trying to recycle content. We were like, if they put some effort into it, let's go ahead and use it for. So hey, but man, thanks for joining us, man. We know we come on kind of late for a certain crowd, so thank you so much for staying up and hanging out.
Oh, I mean, that's no worries. On the West Coast, it's not even that late out here, but I'm usually up. We have a Thursday evening show as well, and I go earlier in the evening, but I typically stay on for like 2 or 3 hours past when I say that I'm gonna leave. So I'm up anyway. That's no issue.
And speaking of your show, where can folks find Lobbing Scorchers and kind of get that plug, baby? Hit us up. Let us know.
Yeah, we you can find our audio shows on whatever podcast platform of your choice. We're on all of them. But we have an active YouTube that we've been building over the last year or so, which if anyone wants to subscribe to that always helps us out. We post all our shows on there. We post clips on there, and then I do 2 live shows a week. One on Monday morning with a Sounders reporter, Nico Moreno.
Hey,
he's known the big newsbreaker out there. We do a Lobbing Scorchers kickoff every Monday at 8, and then my Thursday show is called Under the Lights, and that's usually just me and then other assorted guests from around the MLS media landscape. So I'll need one of you guys on there at some point. But yeah, sub to our YouTube, and then anyone who wants to find us, like I said, any audio platform for our podcast. We're mostly a Sounders show, but we do a lot of league-wide coverage as well. My co-host Noah Reif and I are both fiends for the whole league, so we actually have more listeners from other fan base than I expected. We welcome all.
Yeah, man. Just shout out to all you guys at Sounder at Heart. You, Noah, El Parce, Jeremiah. You guys are doing big things, man. So shout out to all you guys.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, man, we've been lucky enough to have Nico on a couple times on the show, and it's always so fun. And it's
so passionate. Love Parce.
Yeah, no. Well, not only that, but it's great that he's boots on the ground, Papa. He's always up in training. He's
working
always
hard.
talking to Brian. Yeah, no. As a fellow journalist, like I love to see the hustle, baby. So guys, you heard him. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe. Go ahead and show Lobbing Scorchers some love. sending heart some love. And again, you can be a Seattle fan, or you can be a Galaxy fan that's just trying to be up on the enemy. So take your pick. But let's get into some U.S. men's national team stuff before we hit this game. One of your boys there in Seattle had a very nice showing in the last match. Cristian Roldan, who I'd actually been calling for his inclusion, him and Tyler did really, really well. What are your impressions of Mr. Roldan's performance?
Well, first of all, I was happy to see him get back in the mix. He hadn't really been as much in the last couple years, and he's having such a fantastic year this year that people in Seattle have been talking about how he needs to get back in the mix, and it hadn't happened yet. And it sounds like it happened kind of like randomly all at once. He was on vacation after Leagues Cup, and then I guess got a call, and Pochettino was like, "Can you get on a plane and play in this game?" And he was like, "Hell yeah." He's been campaigning for it. He's basically outwardly been saying, like, "I'm just waiting for the call and I'll be there." So I'm glad that he was rewarded with that for how he's played this year. But then I thought he looked really good, which is why a lot of people out here have been saying that he should get called in for a while now. He's been what I would say an unnecessarily polarizing figure in the U.S. men's national team fan base. You get the group of people that are always going to hate on any MLS guy, no matter who it is. But I think there was kind of a special vitriol for Cristian Roldan and Jordan Morris in the last World Cup cycle for sure, because they were getting called in a lot, and when the team wouldn't do well, it's just, it's easy to just blame them, even if it's nothing to do with them. Cristian barely played at the World Cup, and he somehow still took all this heat. So I thought, that's always been stupid. But it was nice to see that Pochettino did not, he doesn't think like that. He's been saying that he doesn't care what league guys are in. He'll call in anybody. And Cristian got rewarded and looked great on the field. I thought it was not a coincidence that as soon as he was starting a game and playing, the team looked a lot better. And I think you're right. The way he and Tyler Adams looked playing off each other, that looks nice. Like, it felt like their skill sets were kind of complementary, and they already had that sort of built-in chemistry. So I think it was good to see him play in kind of like a defined role. I feel like his issue with the national team for the entire time he's been in the mix is that there's never been a real vision for him. He's never had a real position. They've played him like as a winger. They've played him in a more advanced role. He's a 6. Like, at this point in Seattle, he's a 6. They had him playing more of that role with Tyler in that game. And I don't think there's any way you could watch that and credibly think that he doesn't deserve more run. Like, I thought the team looked I'm biased, but I thought the team looked way better with him out there.
No, I am not biased. I cover the Galaxy, and I grew up a Galaxy fan, and I gotta say, he's based on form. He's been great. I mean, you're not wrong. I mean, his inclusion coincides with a very nice, comfortable 2-0 win over not a bad Japan team. Of course, yeah. Zendejas and Balogun get the goals here as Pochettino's boys get the win, kind of recover from that loss against South Korea. But Ananda, you were actually pointed something out to me about a move to a back 3.
Well, yeah, it's funny that Ari mentioned sort of a double pivot, but it was interesting also that it was a double pivot with a back 3. Now, Cristian's, of course, used to a back 4 formation, but I thought he adapted to that well. Right. I mean, he just needed that other guy being the pivot, but also, the 3 center backs back there, they do like to play with the ball. They're comfortable on their feet. And again, like, he's just very tidy, man. And I thought it was more interesting, though, or I think what's more interesting in this discussion is, like, I would argue, like, probably what Ari said, which is based off of form. I mean, you look at who are the other guys competing in that position. It's names like Musa, McKennie, Cardoso, Tesman. I mean, I would argue Cristian Roldan's been the best midfielder in his league in that position in the last, 12 months. I mean, even dating all the way back to the Galaxy's clash with Seattle in the playoffs last year, right? Like, he's been very, very good. So I think he is absolutely deserving at least to get a hard look in for that spot. And remember, guys, like, when we're looking at national team selections, we're not necessarily looking at the starting 11, but we're going to face very different oppositions in, teams that like to press high, teams that like to sit back. So you're going to need horses for different courses. And I think Cristian Roldan might have, his skill set might be unique to what Pochettino might need, in certain situations, certain games. He might be that guy to, protect a 1-0 lead, for example, and just keep things ticking. So yeah, man, he's been very good. And this is coming from a Galaxy fan. So, because I look at him and I mean, obviously, like, with the whole Riqui thing and everything, but no, he's been very good. Very, very good for sure.
We actually technically have to thank Southern California for Cristian Roldan, pride of Pico Rivera.
Yep,
so
that's right.
It's really he's honorary Seattleite, but those are his roots. But yeah, I was saying it on our last podcast, but I kind of laugh. Sometimes people are like, "You really think Cristian Roldan is better than Tanner Tessman?" And I'm like, yeah, I do.
On porn?
I
think I actually do.
At least as good.
Yeah,
at least as good.
That's
for sure.
the thing. Like, it's not even shade towards Tanner Tessman or Aiden Morris, but are we really to believe that there's this crazy gap there between Cristian Roldan and guys like that? When you like Tyler Adams, he's been playing in the EPL for a while. Weston McKennie, I have a lot of respect for him as a player and what he's done in his career.
Yeah.
The rest of these guys, it's like you can take your pick, and it's not like there's not that big of a difference in quality. And if anything, like, I think Cristian, he did more with his time in this last game than some of these other guys have been doing. I think that's pretty clear.
Oh, snaps. You know what? Like, I don't know where I read that he is being tapped up to a European team. Is that true? Have you heard anything about this? Like, in the transfer rumors?
Sorry, who was that?
Roldan.
Oh, not that I've heard recently.
God, like, it's gonna drive me wild. Like, I'm not gonna be able to think of it right now, obviously, but like, I'll let you know. Like, oh, this was the rumor. I read somewhere, like, in the past couple of days, that he's being looked at by some European club. That
was
like,
a thing. Earlier in his career, you would hear those rumors pop up. I think in the last couple of years, it's sort of been assumed that he's going to be a Seattle lifer, which we all support that. But to me, it's like, I understand that, you want the players by and large in the national team pool to be playing in these higher leagues. I think anyone who's watched Cristian play a lot knows that he is of the quality of a league like that. Like, he could have been playing in La Liga or the Bundesliga all this time, and he still would have been excelling. Like, maybe people think that you actually have to have done it to prove it, and that's fine. For me, I have watched him enough where I have no doubt of what his quality is.
Rob, apparently that was a fake report, by the way. Thanks, Noah.
Thank you, Noah, for clearing that up. Yeah. I was like, you know what? I did see something, but it's going to be a USA team that will be tested again versus my parents' country, Ecuador, in Austin on October 10th. So, Ananda did say different horses for different courses, but we'll see what he can do against the team. Hopefully we get to see him against a team like Ecuador, who has a pretty good midfield at the moment.
That's a good test. Yep.
Yeah, so it'll be a good test for the U.S. men's national team and for Cristian Roldan if he ends up playing. The U.S. men's national team also plays Australia in Colorado on October 14th, and perhaps Uruguay in the last game of 2025. Now, you get to go off, Ari. You get to just tell us how the beautiful feeling was a couple of weeks ago, or was it a couple of weeks ago, or has it just been?
I don't even know. I lost all concept of time. Yeah.
I mean, since Seattle took out Messi in Inter Miami, how's everybody in Seattle feeling? Like, has the party calmed down yet? Like, I'm surprised you're sober at the moment.
Still in the mad resaca, man. Mad resaca still.
Yeah, like how is it?
I mean, I think the whole fan base has definitely been on cloud nine off how that final went. I mean, I think the whole thing to begin with, the way it lined up with it being Inter Miami and the Barca boys, who are the opposition for it, and then getting to host it, selling out the building. There was a record crowd, almost 70K in there. And there's been a few finals at Lumen Field now. And there's just kind of something different about that type of environment when there's that many people there, but also you can just kind of feel the weight of the moment, what's at stake and everything. And then you throw the fact that it's Inter Miami as the opposition on top of that. It was huge. And it was nerve-wracking in the sense that I felt confident that Seattle was favored and had a great chance to win the game. But when you're playing literally Messi, you can never feel fully safe with that. You can think you have every advantage. You got the home field advantage. You got the turf. They're on short rest. They're all 45 years old. They're flying from Florida. Like, it was stacked against them in all those ways. But when you're talking about the literal best player to ever play the game, you can think everything is stacked against them and they can still get you. So that was as much as I liked Seattle's chances in the game, I just never felt fully safe. I never felt fully sure on how it was going to go. But then the way the game went, it couldn't have gone much better. They got on top of Miami right away. They got the first goal. They end up winning 3-0. But then you had everything that happened in the aftermath with Inter Miami starting a massive brawl, Luis Suarez spitting on a staffer. You got Sergio Busquets punching Obed Vargas. You got
and getting no punishment.
Yeah, you got two 43-year-old men fighting a 20-year-old kid at one point. So that was a good look for them. But like, it also to me, it kind of added to it. It added the fact that they crashed out that hard, started a fight, and then like I feel like a Suarez crash out in particular, that's kind of like a rite of passage, I think, that you truly have made it as a club. If you can get a crash out from specifically that guy, known for his legendary crash outs. And that was one of his better ones. This is a guy that's known a lot for biting people. I think, to my knowledge, this is his first spitting incident. So the fact that the international headlines that their team went viral for out of that game was starting a brawl and a spitting incident in a game where they got rolled on 3-0. It just doesn't get better. So no, yeah, I mean, it was one of the sickest wins in club history, if not the number one. I don't know. Like, the CONCACAF Champions Cup in 2022 was obviously a huge deal, and that's one that I think you could put up with this one. But it's not like the League's Cup, I've been saying. It's like who was against and how they did it in front of 70K with the brawl on top of that. It was, if it's not the best game in club history, it is right up there. And it really, it completes the trophy case. And it also, it was just kind of a demonstration of the depth this team has too, because they were starting Osaze de Rosario at striker, and they've had all these injuries this year. The Albert Rusnak and Jordan Morris were both out for this game, and they were still able to beat Inter Miami 3-0. So yeah, no, everyone's definitely flying high. It was nice to have a little break where we could bask in it a little bit. But now it's back to reality, and it feels right playing the LA Galaxy for the third time in 3 weeks.
The wooden spoon contenders.
It feels right to you, Ari. If you ask any Galaxy fan, you're like, I know this feeling. I don't like
Seattle again. Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's a testament though to the way Seattle's doing things. Right. We recently, had Christian Miles on the show. Let's talk about this. We've talked about this with Keith Costigan as well, about how formerly the Galaxy were known as probably the most successful club, the gold standard of the league. But with the way Seattle has been about their business and the consistency and success that they've had, I really think that they are starting to cement themselves as kind of that team that other organizations aspire to be to, taking into account obviously that your biases. Do you agree with that statement, or is there still a case for the Galaxy, with being that they have the most titles, or even other teams that have had some recent success and popularity, a la LAFC and Columbus, do they have a case?
I think these two, Seattle and the Galaxy, are the only ones in the discussion. I would start there. Like it has been the Galaxy for the last 20 years or whatever. That I think that's pretty undeniable when you think about 6 MLS Cups now, right after the one last year, and then also being the team that originally brought David Beckham and like started the whole MLS 2.0 era. And the Landon Donovan, Robbie Keane years, that title was unquestionably the Galaxy's. Like you mentioned, I'm biased. I think Seattle's overtaken it, and my reasoning would be, both clubs have the best trophy cases, but Seattle's got CONCACAF Champions League, which no one else has, and I think being the team to break through and actually win that tournament is what like put them in that tier, and then. I think taking down Messi in a final at home in the way that they did it, that sort of reinforces it. But I'm always going to argue for Seattle in that discussion. But if someone was to argue for the Galaxy on the basis of not just the 6 MLS Cups, but also their historic importance and relevance in the league, I don't think it's like a crazy argument to have. I don't really think anyone else is in there. I like the Crew. Nah, like they've been very good the last few years, and they're a historically important and relevant team as well. But I don't think in the way of Galaxy and Seattle. It's Inter Miami is definitely not the gold standard of MLS. They're the gold standard of spitting, I guess, but they're not the gold standard of MLS until they win a few more trophies. I know they got Messi, but I think it's really a debate between these two, and then wherever you come down, there's valid parts to the argument both ways.
Yo, Ari, I'm concerned for you, man, because I remember a couple months back when the homie Nico reported on Inter Miami and something Messi did, and the Messi fans came at him like super hard, like unnecessarily hard. I was like, God damn, really? Like that? Like it was just stupid. So
they've been coming after us too. Man,
yeah. I'm sorry you have to deal with that.
I mean, but Ari, all you got to do is just say, hey, live look from the trophy room.
Exactly.
So
I'm gonna start busting that.
Conversation over, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
no, they're mad at us because there was all these reports that Messi was chirping. He was chirping. There was a lot of talk behind the scenes as to what that chirping constituted. When that came out, Messi fans, they don't like their GOAT portrayed in any sort of negative light. To me, it's not even that like big a deal that he's chirping. All it was there was trash talk, and then there was the De La Vega thing, but it shouldn't be that crazy or offensive to think that he would be trash talking out there. That's like, it's part of the game. So I don't know why they were that mad, but they were.
Absolutely. Trash talk is part of the game.
Yeah. It's so wild how petty they were. By the way, I'm a Real Madrid fan, so I was like loving the fact that you guys were just taking it to these guys, man. Oh, that was beautiful. Even as a rival, I'm like, come on, Seattle, get it.
It was funny how everyone was rooting for Seattle. Like that's not a role that Seattle is used to. Seattle's used to being in the category, like kind of like the Galaxy at times, like the team that everyone's rooting against. It was kind of fun to have everyone unified and like, please just beat these guys.
Yeah,
and then having them do it.
That's super funny. But switching gears for a second, Ari, I do want to talk about this because I think this is. It's nice to kind of have people like you on and that are outside of the Galaxy cocoon that we live in. And so I guess asking you as an outsider looking in, as a rival, as someone who covers a team that has a long tenured successful head coach in this league, I wanted to get your assessment from the outside on Greg Vanney, actually. And because in the Galaxy sphere, I mean, fans have called for his head after going 16 games without a win, right? When that contract extension came down, fans called it a disgrace. Like, what were you thinking, Galaxy? But what do you think, man? Do you think just knowing, I mean, that tenured sort of historical coach like a Schmetzer and what he's done for your organization, do you think Vanney is still the right man for LA. And I guess, is there something to be said about having that stability, right? Especially in this league.
Yeah, well, so it was kind of funny when they announced his extension dead in the middle of the 16 like winless run or whatever it was, and they had to go out there and give the press conferences of like, we are extending this man because he is the right man for the job, and the record was like 0-14-3 or whatever. I think he even said that at one point. He was like, I feel guilty about having this announced at this time. Yeah. So but optics of that aside, I kind of come down on the side of it where, like, Greg Vanney's a proven MLS coach at this point. He's won championships in two different clubs, Toronto FC, who he built into a juggernaut, and then for however bad the fall has been for the Galaxy this year, last year he had that team absolutely rolling. We actually had a joke on our show last year that we were an LA Galaxy podcast because we glazed the LA Galaxy attack so much. We loved watching Riqui Puig, Gabriel Peck, Joey Paints, as we call him. He was our favorite. He was our favorite newcomer in the league last year. His fall this year has been kind of sad for us to see because we were such big fans last year. And then obviously Dejan Joveljic. That front four was incredible. And Greg Vanney, like, he was a big part in creating that. So I don't know if you can look at how bad this season has been and make it a full-on indictment of him as a coach when he's got the track record of success that he's got. And to me, when you have a coach who's proven that he can win MLS Cup, and also one of the things with Schmetzer that I think is unique about him is, he has these ties to the organization. Like, he played for the organization. He's Mr. Seattle Soccer. He's a Sounder through and through. When you have a coach like that, literally no one on earth cares more specifically about the success of the Seattle Sounders Football Club than Brian Schmetzer. And so everything about how he approaches the job has that, like, undertone of it, of he has so much love and loyalty for the club and the organization. He cares so much that it's a winning club and successful. Greg Vanney, I think it's a similar idea. He played for the Galaxy. The reason he said when he took the job for the Galaxy was like, as someone who played for this club and has loyalty to this club, I feel like a duty to get it back to what it was. And I think there's a lot to having someone who has that genuine investment in the club succeeding as your coach. And he has that, and he did win MLS Cup last year. So I don't really, when I look at what happened to the Galaxy this year, I think it's pretty obvious that it's not coaching. I think it's what happened to the roster and everyone that they had to get rid of because of the salary cap shedding and stuff, which Greg Vanney might have been part of that. But to me, that's like a GM and front office issue more than the coach. And I think he's sort of taken the arrows for it. But all that's a long way to say, like, I don't think I would fire him. And I get why they extended him. It was bad timing. I might not have announced that right then.
Yeah.
That's what I would change. But as for, like, his validity as the coach, and if they can be successful going forward with him as the coach, I mean, he's proven that he can win MLS Cup. Like, we already know this. So that's not, like, not true anymore because he had one bad season. I think it's fine to keep him.
Have you ever heard of the fact that great minds think alike? Well, you are right on the money with my wife, who you just mentioned. Then it has to be a front office, an executive kind of thing that should be looked at, and Greg Vanney's kind of taken the knives for that. My wife is right on your side, man. She's been like, well, you know what? It's Will Kuntz has to be looked at, and
that's where I go. That's where I go.
Yeah,
I have so much love for the man that it's so hard for me to do that. But
it's tough because he's the one who built that roster that was so good last year,
and he's brilliant.
But I think when you look at how many players they ended up having to get rid of, and then the decision to not put Riqui Puig on season-ending injury that could have freed up some space or whatever, I think like someone in chat said, like, last place the entire season though. And that's sort of like what I can't figure out is how it went this far off the rails.
Yeah.
But it feels like this outcome could have been avoided with just better roster management and better planning. It could have been a situation where they're at more like 1.0 to 1.2 points per game instead of toiling at the bottom of the league table all year.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say, Rob, like we've been talking about on the show, like kind of uncovered that if you really think about it, Ari, like our spine's been completely ripped out. The spine of this team is from the goalkeeper all the way to Dejan Joveljic, right? With all the parts in between. Now
it hurts when you say Dejan.
I guess the question is though, like, is this simply just like a Riqui Puig problem? Meaning, like, does Riqui's return make them instantly contenders again next year, or is it more than that? Or are there other kind of systemic issues?
No, I think it's more than that. I think that's going to help a lot. But Riqui Puig, he's going to help score goals, which this Galaxy team this year has shown that they can score goals sometimes. It's a defensive issue, like you said, like the spine of the team. It's losing guys like Gaston Brugman, Mark Delgado.
Yeah.
Those type of losses, it turns out feel a lot. And I think it's Riqui Puig coming back is a piece of it, but I think the Galaxy have got to sign at least one like stud, really good number 6 like defensive midfielder. And then the CB situation, I think one of my biggest observations from both the games that Seattle played down there, like first in the regular season and then the Leagues Cup, like the back line, Seattle was just having a field day. Zonka, God bless him. Like if you can upgrade there, if you can upgrade there, that's step number 1. And really, I think that's probably even more important than getting Riqui Puig back. Riqui Puig is one of the best players in the league without a doubt. And I think the team's going to score a lot more goals with him, but they got to get the midfield and defense straightened out too. Yeah. That's going to be like the tell if they can turn it around.
Well, Ananda, your question about if Riqui makes some contenders again, it might be moot now for this year, because today in our presser with Greg, he was asked about, I believe Josh asked him, shout out Josh, about the roster freeze that happens tomorrow league-wide, which makes the Galaxy have to make a decision on Riqui and whether he makes his return in these 7 games, I believe, that are left.
I'm curious what you guys think about this. We were debating this. Do you guys think that he should play this year?
Well, I mean, it's like you said, at this point, it's such a shitty decision, man, because if they had known what they know now, obviously foresight is 2020, but if you had known that you were only going to get Riqui for like, well, he's definitely not going to be able for the next 2 or 3 games. So what are you going to get him for? At most 3 or 4 games at the end of the year. So knowing that, if you knew, okay, we're only going to get Riqui,
right? And the
maybe,
cup.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe. So if you know that you're only going to get Riqui for maybe 3, max 4 games in the year, like Ari said, as Will Kuhn's the president of the Galaxy and the front office executive making this decision, do you say, okay, you know what, we're just going to shut Riqui down for the season and then go ahead and go sign another player with those assets?
If they shut him down now, that looks bad, because then it's like, why didn't you just do it from the beginning? But then, if you do,
that's what I'm saying. No, that's what I'm saying. He should have done it since the beginning. But like we didn't know what we know now.
Yeah. I was gonna say, like, just purely from a putting my fan hat on for a second. Like, I love watching Riqui play, man. Like, one of the things about this year watching the Galaxy is it's been kind of painful to watch. Actually, not kind of painful, a lot painful to watch. And one of the reasons that gives me joy watching this team is Riqui Puig, man. The guy does some magical things with the ball on his feet. Like, he's one of those guys that runs faster with the ball than without the ball. It's pretty insane, right? So from a fan perspective, purely sentimental perspective, I would love to see him on the team, but I'm going to disqualify myself too, because as a fan, that means I'm not a doctor. And so I have no idea what's going on medically with him, right? Like where is he right now? Is he at 50%? Is he at 80%? Like what is that threshold? I mean, minutes are minutes, and that would be great for him in terms of part of his rehab, because you can't replicate an in-game situation. But then again, like, I'm not a doctor, so if the medical report or the staff is saying that, like, you know, he's not 100%, right? Like 100%, Rob, like, I don't know. I wouldn't risk it at that point. So I guess for me, it's like the unknown for me is like, I'm not a doctor, so I have no idea. But as a fan, I would love to see him on the pitch and get some minutes.
Well, what's like I told you guys last week, he was in training. He was in full team training, but Greg let us know that it was just for the rondo round in the first couple minutes of training, and then he went off to do his own thing. So that tells me he's not in full team training, which tells me that it's going to be at least another week till he's in full team training, then another week to go ahead and try to get up to speed. So you're maybe looking at, even optimistically, like 2 or 3 weeks. So yeah, I mean, God, I wish we had known this again then. And yes, they would have shut him down and used the asset. But now, like Ari said, you just kind of look whack if you go ahead and do that. But
yeah,
you know, it is what it is. The Galaxy have a decision to make. They got to make it by tomorrow. And who knows whether we'll see Riqui or not this year, but we'll know by tomorrow. It is a good time to remind you that when you want to know when we have amazing guests like Ari on this show, go ahead and subscribe. Go ahead and hit the like on this channel. You can find us pretty much everywhere at Lacuna Galaxiana. So anyway, getting back to it. Well, Ari, you just came off a resounding trophy win at Lumen Field, and now on Saturday, Seattle could be the team that eliminates the Galaxy officially from playoff contention, even though it is pretty much a foregone conclusion. Seattle could be the team to officially do it. So a couple of scenarios here. Galaxy loss against Seattle and LAFC loss. That means that Galaxy eliminated.
Or draw if they draw or lose to
that's right. So LA lose at Seattle and Houston win at Colorado, or LA draws at Seattle and San Jose wins versus LAFC. So a couple of different scenarios that officially eliminate the Galaxy. And at this point, it's really like, can we just get it over with? We've known it's going to happen forever.
Rob, I was hearing Josh and Hammer were talking about, the bet should be, can we make it till October? Can we make it till October? We'll see. I doubt it, but
I doubt it. However,
I wonder what the over-under what is on that.
We did have a Seattle fan in our last show in chat, and they were saying that the Galaxy is actually going to take the win at Lumen Field, and so it got me thinking, like, why would they even say it? Like, what would it be like the proper conditions? It got me dreaming, basically. So it could be that there might be a Leagues Cup hangover. Is this an opportunity for the Galaxy to maybe spring a surprise? And Greg said there's maybe only going to be like 1 or 2 goals for the Galaxy, or opportunities for goal in this, but isn't an opportunity for what we call on the show a trap game?
Yeah, like, this is going to be the whole question for Seattle for the rest of the year. I mean, if you remember in 2022 when they won CONCACAF Champions League, the hangover was real. That was the worst league season they've ever had. That's the only time they've missed the playoffs, and really it was just very evident for the rest of that year that they were physically spent, but they were also like psychologically and emotionally spent. It's pretty clear that when you play one of these mid-season or in-season tournaments like this and you make a really deep run, and in this case you win it, it's sort of hard to go right back to league play, the grind of league play, and have the same just intensity and energy level as these games that you're playing, where every single game, every single moment is critical. Everything is so high intensity. It's knockout scenarios. To go from that back to league play, you got to be able to find it within yourself to recapture that intensity. They were not a lot of it was physical in 2022, but I think a lot of it too was that psychological component to it. So that's what Brian Schmetzer was talking about it yesterday. Like they're messaging really hard to try and avoid that. And this Galaxy game is going to be the first test of that. I'm hopeful and cautiously optimistic that this team is better set up to handle this type of situation than the 2022 one was. First of all, they don't have as long to go before playoffs. That 2022, the CCC final was it was like way earlier in the season, and they had way more games than they do now. Now there's only like 6 or 7 games left. So hopefully that works in their favor a little bit. And then I also just think that this is the deepest Seattle team that I've ever seen. You got there's some pundits that are calling it the deepest MLS team ever. I think one of the strengths that they've shown, not just in Leagues Cup, but all season, is that really since Club World Cup, it's felt like it doesn't matter who they put out there. They've had all these injuries. They've had Jordan Morris, the DP number 9, has been hurt all season. And they've managed to withstand that because Danny Musovski is randomly going God mode, and Osaze de Rosario burst onto the scene. So that's
he's
one
nice
thing. Yeah. So like that's been impressive just at that spot on the field, but really it's up and down the roster. I mean, it was so nice to be able to, when Albert Rusnak, the DP number 10, got hurt and was out for like a month, to just be able to slide Jesus Ferreira over there, like a former best 11 attacker in MLS, and not miss a beat offensively without your DP number 10 and your DP number 9. You've had João Paulo got injured, and they brought up a academy kid, Snyder Brunel, who looks incredible. Like every time he's played, he's looked like Obed Vargas out there, you know? So
scored his first goal. Galaxy.
He scored his first goal at the against the Galaxy, and then he's played 2 MLS games and he has 2 goals, that's ahead of Obed Vargas's pace. Obed's obviously like become this world-class player, and Snyder is like aspiring to be on that path. But just the fact that you can have an injury and bring up with an academy kid and not lose anything, I mean, it's impressive. And really, it's created this situation where it's been a fun feeling, because there's no game that I go into, regardless of rotation or the injury situation, where I don't feel confident that the team's going to compete and be able to take a result, just because like the depth they have has been coming through all year. And since Club World Cup in particular, I think that's sort of like the mark in the season where you can look at and be like, they have been just razor sharp since then. And it really has not mattered the 11 that's out there. So yeah, 10-1-4 since Club World Cup and 1 Leagues Cup. And in spite of a lot of injuries, this has also been some of the craziest injury situation I've seen with this team, and it just hasn't mattered. So in that way, I'm hoping that also can prevent a hangover type situation, because like you have this situation now where you're playing the Galaxy on Saturday at home, and then you got to fly to Miami to play them again on Tuesday. And ordinarily, in past years, I would look at that and be like, all right, you chalk one of those. Like you punt the Miami game probably and just throw everything at the Galaxy game, and then just do a rotated lineup, whatever. And whatever happens in the Miami game, then you just move on. With this roster, I'm like, I think this team has shown that they can take results in both of these games. I don't know if they're going to do that. The Miami road trip is going to be a really tough test of the depth, but so far it has passed every test. And I'm just hoping that helps avoid the hangover that you're talking about, because that's real. Like that happened to this exact team in 2022. So they got to try and avoid that.
Fortunately, one of these 2 games that, are in quick succession for Seattle, for Seattle anyway, is against the Galaxy, because this will be the 3rd meeting between these 2 teams in the span of 5 weeks. And it's pretty fair to say that Seattle has had the Galaxy's number. And so it'll be even harder for the Galaxy to get a result, because they'll be at Lumen Field there on Saturday, September 13th. This match there on the 13th marks the 55th meeting across all competitions between the 2 teams. The Galaxy do trail the series 18-21-14. The Galaxy does hold an 11-15-14 record in the league play. In 2024, they faced each other 4 times. The Galaxy led the series 2-1-1. And the last time the two teams played a knockout match at Dignity Health Sports Park, of course, was in the Western Conference Final. Better days for sure. In 27 matches played across all competitions at the Digs against Seattle, they hold a 13-7-7 record. The Galaxy's last regular season win in Seattle, this does not bode well, Ananda, was July 9th. Care to take a venture when?
Well, I'm going to cheat because I have the show notes, but maybe Ari knows.
Oh, man. I honestly don't remember. I'll say like 2016 or 17.
2016,
ding,
man.
ding.
Okay,
Yeah,
right,
really
absolutely
good.
right.
That's really good.
Holy
Yeah.
crap! That is
since since 2016.
It's gonna be a decade, Papa. It's gonna be a decade. It's gonna be a decade.
The team is 0-3-6 away. Yeah, that's terrible. That's the utter miseries. Their most recent like decent result was that 0-0 draw and on Cinco de Mayo in 2024.
I remember that.
And of course, they've just put the hurt on the Galaxy the last 2 games. It's just been, I mean, like Ari said, Zanka bless his heart. Seattle has won the last 2 matches by a combined 6-0 scoreline. Let's look at
what is up with him? Has he just like been tanking all year, or like
essentially
those 2 games? Like when we saw him in the lineup graphic in the second game, we were like,
yeah. Well,
yeah,
you know what it is too, Ari? It's like him and Yoshida together is just not a good combination.
They don't talk.
Well, not only
I call it out all the time. I'm like, they just don't talk to each other.
But you need speed. You need an element of speed at some level in the back line. I mean, like for example, like Seattle, Nuhu mops up everything. Yamar mops up everything, and they do it with their physicality and their speed. Emi Garces was that guy for us, Ari. And when he gets out of that lineup, it's just a shambles, an absolute shambles in the back line.
Earlier this year was having these. He had one of the craziest CB howlers I've ever seen. I can't remember what game that was.
San Diego game.
Yeah. Where I don't know if he ever recovers from that, but I think you're right. Like he has the physical attributes that you need alongside one of those older guys. Otherwise, it's just a slow duo.
Yeah. No, there was in that 2-0 win for Seattle. There was a moment when I don't even remember who from Seattle got on the wing, but they just blew by Zanka and Yoshida, and I was like, well. And it was early. It was like the 7th minute. I was like, well, we're gonna be seeing that all game. Bro.
Someone check Di Rosario's pockets, man. I think Yoshida and Zanka are still in there.
Like they were both on his back. That was crazy.
Yeah,
that was crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it was funny because when we spoke to Brian Schmetzer post game, he just looked sad at us and he was like, it was kind of a good goal, right? And we were just like, yeah, Brian, you're absolutely right. It was a fantastic goal.
Well, because I think someone was like, because Osaze missed a couple breakaways.
Yeah, he did
in that game, and someone was asking about that, and he was like, I mean, come on, that goal though, come on.
I love Brian Schmetzer's whole vibe, bro. Like I've only got to see him and twice there in person. But his whole vibe is like no F's given, he'll like get questions and like doodle and just like stare at the wall. And I'm like, this man is not bothered. He just like knows his team is good. His team is firing on all cylinders and he cannot be bothered. Man, he's living the good life right now. Whereas the Galaxy are not. Galaxy fans, I could bore you with where the Galaxy are right now, but they're in last place after 28 matches, 4-16-8 record, 20 points, 15th in last place, 15 points behind 9th place San Jose. They still have not won on the road.
Yikes!
Is it going to be an all season thing? Who knows? Are they going to win the wooden spoon? Who knows? Seattle, so much better. After 27 matches played, they hold a 12-7-8 record on 44 points. 1.63 points per game, a +10 goal differential. In fourth place, 5 points back from third place Vancouver. Of course, we've been talking about it all pod. The last match that they played was that 3-0 demolition of Leo Messi's Inter Miami in the League's Cup, which brought them the trophy. Before that, of course, they got done beating the Galaxy again, 2-0 in the semifinal of the League's Cup. And before that, it was a 5-2 spanking of Sporting Kansas City. Really, and Ari's kind of touched on the form, the only loss this team has suffered since the Club World Cup is a 1-0 loss to Minnesota United, of all people.
Have you guys watched a lot of Minnesota United this year?
A decent amount, but like not
they have some of
an expert.
They have some of the weirdest tactics I've ever seen. Like I don't even know how to describe it. It's like they're constantly doing the bunker and counter, but it's not really the same effect as bunkering. Like they do play offense, but they just don't ever have the ball. So it's like this situation where you have the ball and you're just knocking it around and you can't really do much with it. And then they're so good at set pieces that they're guaranteed at least one goal off that a game. So I don't want to see them in the playoffs. That team, that's a weird team. I don't like them.
Yeah, I was a little worried too last year, but the Galaxy offense came to life. But Ari, I look at that league table and look, man, I think personally Seattle's the team to beat coming out of the West. I mean, San Diego's making a really, really strong case because they have an interesting style of play, but for me, it's Seattle, man. I don't know what you think as someone who covers the team.
I think that they're definitely in that conversation. You can't discount San Diego in that conversation because they've been up there all year. Minnesota, like for all that I don't like their tactics, I mean it has been very effective and they're at 51 points. And then Vancouver, they started off insanely hot, but I think Seattle's form recently has definitely been better than theirs. To me, it looks like San Diego, Seattle, and LAFC I think is a big one since they got Son Heung-min, who he hasn't super popped in his couple of games that he's had, but I mean he's looked pretty good. He's got like a goal and an assist I think already, and it just feels like that's the type of thing that at least theoretically could elevate them. So though if I'm ranking like who I think are the biggest threats to Seattle in the playoffs, it would be San Diego and LAFC are the ones where I would go into those matchups feeling like, okay, this could really, really go either way.
Interesting. I think the Aaron Long injury kind of bumps them down for me a little bit, but yeah, point taken for sure.
Ananda, did you say injury?
Yes.
I love my segues. Yeah.
Oh, hey, do we really need to take a look at this injury report, man? Because it's ridiculous for both teams. Like,
yeah, I mean it's actually getting better for Seattle, but we'll let,
it's finally get like Jordan is theoretically going to be back this weekend, and JP's theoretically going to be back in the next couple of games. Paul Arriola's out for the season. Ryan Kent's not going to be back anytime soon. Stu Hawkins, I think, is still a ways out as well.
Yeah. And then the Galaxy, we spoke to Greg today. He said he didn't want to tip his hat. He was being cagey on this.
I didn't know Royce was out.
Yeah, he was out for the last match.
Yeah,
against Houston. And so he said that a number of these players are close and that they were day to day. Some they would look at and assess and say, you know what, we don't want to risk it. And some, they would want to go ahead and push out there. But I loved how he just didn't want to give anything up to Brian Schmetzer. And so that's why at the top of the show, I was like, does it even matter anymore? I mean, I feel like Brian Schmetzer has Greg's number, at least for the moment. Just any kind of look combination, just Brian Schmetzer has an answer for it. And maybe that's a testament to that depth that, Ari's been talking about. Ari, is Albert Rusnak back?
He's supposed to be back for this game. Like he's been in full training all week. He's supposedly 100%. So He and Jordan, I think, are both going to play in these 2 games coming up, and I think that like by the next couple weeks they'll be like fully back. So they're not like full 90 fit, but they're going to play.
So what would you call on a starting 11 for Seattle here?
It's really, I'm really 50-50 on if they're going to start Rusnak in this game or bring him off the bench. But like from the way they've been talking about it, I think you'll have Rusnak start this game at the 10, and then that slides Ferreira out to the wide right where Rothrock is, and then De La Vega on the left. I think you'll have Musovski up top, and then everything else will be the same, except it'll be Nuhu at left back instead of Reed Baker Whiting. But I do think that I think Schmetz said that Andrew Thomas is going to start in goal again, even though Stefan Fry, who's been injured, is also coming back, and that's kind of a tough decision they're going to have to make. But I think it's going to be Rusnak at the 10, Ferreira at right mid, and Musovski up top.
Yeah, I mean, we had a goalkeeper battle here in Los Angeles at the beginning of the season. Is perhaps a goalkeeper battle brewing there, or is it just kind of accepted that when Stephen Fry, he gets back to 100, he'll go ahead and retake that spot?
We really don't know. Like Schmetz was asked about that today, and he was like, "This is one of the harder decisions I've ever had to make as a coach." Because if you think about it, you got a club legend who it wasn't through performance that he hasn't been playing. It's like it would be losing his job to injury, but it is a very clear-cut situation where he's at near the end of his career. He's 39. He said that he wants to play next year, but Andrew Thomas has been the presumed heir apparent for the last couple of years and has played incredible like this entire time that he's been filling in. So this is what we were debating tonight on my show. Like, what do you do? Schmetzer said that he has a way that he's leaning, but he wouldn't say what that was. I have a feeling he's leaning towards like giving the job to the heir apparent and having the club legend be the backup who rotates in. But that's just a crazy thing to think about because Stefan Fry is literally, I mean, he's one of the best goalkeepers in MLS history. He's been an MLS Cup MVP for this club and was playing well all year, to be fair. Like, it's not like he looks like some people think that he's declined or whatever. I haven't really seen that much. He's looked pretty much how he always has to me. So I really have no idea how they're going to do that.
Yeah, that man Fry is class, man. I remember there being this one video slow-mo of a save that he made on Toronto in one of those MLS Cups, and
that's the famous one. Yeah,
one of the most incredible saves that I've ever seen.
It literally won them that championship. Like, that is a goal. That was off Josie Altidore. Like that was one of the greatest moments in club history. So that's a player a player of that status that we're talking about right there.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you guys if you think it's going to be so Nascimento's hurt. You think it's going to be Barry like it is there, or Superman Christian Ramirez?
For whatever reason, Greg Vanney doesn't mess with Ramirez as a starter. Barry's gotten the lick the last couple of games, so Greg's usually a creature of habit. So I expect Barry to go ahead and get the nod there at the 9. What do you think, Ananda?
I don't know, man. You're asking me the lesser of two evils here. I mean, both have been well. Yeah, it's like you're really searching in the bargain bin there. It's
pretty much the same thing, isn't it?
It basically is. Well, it's funny because if Marco Royce was available, I would argue he's our second best option at number 9. You play him at a false 9. And you let the wingers and the midfielders sort of making those deep lying runs. I mean, I think for me, the two wingers have to get back in there. So hopefully, he'll give some supply line to Miguel Betti. I mean, Miguel Betti, all you need to do is just back to goal game.
I don't even know who a couple of these guys are. Who is T. Leo Lev? Who is that?
Tucker Lepley.
Tucker Lepley. Yeah.
He's one of the
super draft pick from UCLA.
Oh, that looks like an O. Lepley.
Leppley. I think it's cut off there.
I saw Leo.
Yo, Tucker's a dog, man. Hopefully
I like Harbor Miller. I think Harbor Miller is nice.
Yeah, no, he definitely is. And he definitely is a confident lad. I feel like he's going to do really good. I mean, hopefully Harbor represents,
he has swag. I like the juice that he brings.
Yeah, for sure. Whenever he comes out and talks to us, he's definitely confident, and he knows what it is to wear the shirt because he's coming up through the academy. So I was about to kind of compare him to a la Paul Rothrock. Hopefully he represents.
Yeah, no, I see that.
Kind of what that does in Seattle, bringing so many academy kids through. Hopefully Harbor Miller is the beginning of that.
Who's number 63? C Rindo.
Rindov.
We called them up from GT or from BCFC.
Okay, so it's
we're trying to
they're giving the young guy. That's what you should be doing.
We're trying to do the Seattle thing. Bringing up guys through. I think we need to. And this is unfortunately out of a necessity now at this point because of Garces' status, etc. I mean, Zavaleta is a player coach at this point. So yeah, we're trying to start bring up the academy kids. And speaking of, man, like I'd love to see Sanabria get a start, Rob. I think he needs to build on that momentum, especially from the last game, right? From that goal. Hopefully that gives him a confidence boost. I mean, $5 million, U22. We got to start seeing something from this kid, over the next, 12 months or so.
Yo, Joe 13 cool in chat says Rindov our second best center back. Don't be fooled. I agree with that actually.
Unfortunately, yeah, that's a sad state of affairs for the Galaxy for sure, but I agree with that.
Someone else is asking who runs the academy at Seattle. It's this guy Henry Bronner is like the director of youth development, who's really good, and then Wade Weber, who is a former MLS player, is a key figure in that. Those are like I think the two main guys, but they have like a whole staff. Their whole staff and scouting department with that stuff is just really good. Like, and Garth Lagerway, I would credit too.
Yeah,
he's the one who like
fantastic
started it. Yeah, he started the whole foundation for that project. He and Chris Henderson and Henry Bronner and Wade Weber have kind of like taken that over. But it was really honestly Garth and Chris who I have to credit for where the academy is at now, which is one of the best in the league. I do think what the Galaxy are doing, like bringing guys up like Harbor Miller, that's what you should be doing at this point. One, because you need to see what you have in those guys, but also like, like what I was saying about Vanney, like the devotion to the club, devotion to the badge, like really care. Like academy kids, like they have that, and you can tell. Like Harbor Miller definitely plays like that, and it's something I noticed with Atlanta too. They're kind of having a bad season with all these like super expensive superstar players that don't give a shit. Like when they bring up these academy kids like Luke Brennan and whoever else they brought up, those kids actually like they play for the badge. So that's why giving the kids a chance is actually another reason why you should do it.
Yeah, preach, man. And that's why we talk about it all the time on the show. Not only was he a friend of the show, we love his mom, but the Jalen Neal trade, that one hurt really bad.
That's a sneaky loss that really hurt.
Yeah. I mean, if Jalen was with the team, I mean, it would probably him and Garces starting at the moment. So it's unfortunate that he's not with the team anymore. And I wish for his return every day. Ananda, what you got on stats for this one, man? Because we are going to ask Ari at the end of this, which is we're getting to the end here pretty quickly, for his prediction, and we are going to have some receipts. So what you got on the stats that'll help us make a good decision?
Yeah, man. Well, usually, I always pull up all these like sort of aggregated stats, but I thought that I just wanted to see. I thought what was more interesting was the analysis of the last two games that we played against Seattle, because I think that completely tells the story. In those two meetings, the G's outpossessed Seattle, like from a possession. But as we know, Rob, Greg calls it the burden of possession. It's what you do with that possession, right? Well, Seattle did a hell of a lot with theirs. In the last two games, Rob, we were beaten in every key offensive stats. Shots 38-17, shots on target 16-7, XG 7-1, big chances 7-1. Yeah, 7 XG accumulated over the last two games.
Oh, okay. Over the two games. I was
over
like,
yeah. Over the two games. I mean, it probably felt like 7 with that 4-0, right?
Yeah.
And big chances 9-0 for the Galaxy. So In the words of a friend of the show, Rob David Gass, what the Sounders have done to the Galaxy this year has been absolutely and utterly illegal.
Yeah,
and I'm just gonna leave it at that.
It has
been illegal, man.
Been kind.
Yeah.
Like I said, Schmetzer has Vanney's number at the moment. Again, chat, we are going to get predictions here with Ari and ourselves here in a moment. So go ahead and start dropping yours in chat. Let us know what you think this game is going to shape up as. Are the Galaxy going to be able to spring a surprise at Lumen Field? Very improbably. And as the underdog and get that 1-0, that 2-1 win. Go ahead and let us know. Let us know if you think it's going to be a 4-5-0 Seattle blowout. Drop it in chat. Let us know what you think. Ari, who needs to be the X factor there for Seattle to go ahead and complete the third decimation here of the Galaxy?
The X factor. I mean, I think I'll go Jesus Ferreira. He's been playing really well, and he is a big reason they won Leagues Cup. He did a fantastic job for filling in for Albert Rusnak the whole time he was hurt. That was just a great trade. I'm so glad they made that trade. But if you were to nitpick his season, like he really hasn't scored as many goals as you would have thought or hoped. For a player who has an 18-goal season in MLS, I would argue that he has been unlucky not to have more. He's had 3 or 4 called like disallowed on borderline offside calls, and he's hit a couple off the post. So he really could have more than the 3 he has in league play. But what I really want to see from him the stretch run of the season is finding the back of the net more, like we know that he can. And I think this game playing the Galaxy defense that they've already gotten the better of twice on the road, now having it at home, I want to see him score in this game.
Well, here's the big question here for you before we get to the big question. For Seattle to win in this match, they have to fill in the blank.
I mean, just do exactly what they did the previous 2 games. Like
change absolutely nothing and roll.
Yeah, I think what was impressive to me about what they did in both of those games in LA was they looked like the home team, even though they were playing on the road. So if they just do that and get on top of the Galaxy early, they should be in good shape. And also they just another one thing I love about watching this team right now is how good the press is. Like they have gotten so many goals out of just putting these teams under this relentless pressure, and they got the Galaxy with that. Like those games felt like every time the Galaxy had the ball a little bit, they would get pressed out of possession into a turnover, and Seattle would be off and running. Seattle's even better at doing that at home than they are on the road. So I think just really maintaining that trait is going to be key.
Anandita Kirana, same question for you. For the Galaxy to win this match, they have to.
Yeah, well, it's funny because tactically I was going to build off of what Ari said, which is Seattle suffocated us. That's the word we kept using, Rob, after both of those losses, right? Is they absolutely suffocated us. So for Vanney, like he needs to figure out like what's the best way to break out of that press, and whether that's an individual thing or just a stylistic thing. And on top of that, I think again the best way to beat Seattle, I mean, because we don't have the midfield generals that we did last year, especially without Riqui Puig, we have to be good in transition, man. We have to be a transition team. I think the Galaxy is the most dangerous. Now you're going to have your 2 wingers, hopefully knock on wood, back in there. You have to hurt them in transition. And that's been the Galaxy. I mean, against 3-0 against Colorado at home, that was our sort of blueprint there, was being ruthless in transition, 1-2 passes, and we were off. And because Seattle's going to 2 banks of 4, they're going to be defensively super tight. So I think our best way to break that down or to counteract that, it has to be on the transition, because tiki-taka trying to play around Seattle, it hasn't worked for 2 games. It's not going to work for a third. And especially at a place that we haven't gotten a result since 2016. My God. So there you go.
I can tell you guys the way you can get at Seattle. The teams that have been giving them trouble, even in this run where they've been red hot, it was Minnesota United who have their weird possession tactics, and then in Leagues Cup it was Puebla who played very similarly. They just let Seattle have the ball the entire time. You just let them knock it around. You don't let Seattle get out in transition. That's what you don't do. And you kind of just yield all the possession, and then, but like to an exaggerated degree, and let them get frustrated. But then either do what Minnesota did and poach a set piece goal, or like you said, get out in transition and rip them on a counter. The tough thing is I just don't know how well this Galaxy team is built to play like that. This Galaxy team needs to be like out and running, and that's just not the game state or tactics that you want in this scenario. So that's makes
it's funny. It's not what Greg wants, but then like you look at even the goals, the couple goals against the Red Bull in the final last year, one quick pass from Gaston Bergman, JP is in for that first goal, right? So it's like it's a weird thing with the Galaxy. I think they're what do you call it, the players and the skill sets, you've got speed on the wings, especially with Joseph Paintel and Gabriel Peck. So it's a weird one for me. But against Seattle, I think you're absolutely right. We have to be defensively resolute, which is not the Galaxy's MO, and hit them on the break. And like you always say, Rob, execute, right? You can hit them on the break, but then you have to execute in that final third. The Galaxy haven't done that either this year.
Yeah, like Greg said, Seattle's only going to yield one, maybe two chances.
Correct.
And so, yeah.
I can tell you guys, too, another way to get at Seattle. This team loves to get red cards. Loves it. They have like 9 this year. I call it the crash out red card, boys. It's probably a little unfair.
Wind them up.
It's okay. It's probably a little unfair that I call them that, because a few of them were like, slide tackles where they went in a little too hot, and then, you get sent off for that. Or like there's been Georgie Manungu got a second yellow because he scored a goal and he pulled his shirt over his head to show his follower of Christ shirt, like to celebrate the goal, and he forgot that he was already on a yellow and then got yellowed for
no.
It's stuff like that where you're like, how did you guys even manage to get ejected in that scenario? You had Nuhu throw. So anyway, like Seattle is very prone to getting guys sent off. They literally have 9 red cards this year. So if you can get them up a man, that's another way to get at him.
Okay, so wind them up. And then what I was gonna say is
don't spit at him. Don't spit.
Yeah, don't. No. That's a bad idea. Don't do the Luisito. No, but I was gonna say just quite simply pray, because Ari said don't change anything if you're Seattle, and for the Galaxy, like I said,
change everything.
Greg's thrown a lot of different looks at Branchford's team here, and nothing has seemed to work. So, quite simply, go out there and play your best, be brave, and pray. That's all I gotta say. Ananda, before predictions here, did you and Dr. Riquinho make up and get to work on betting odds? I know that you and him were kind of at odds with each other because you guys were in a discussion over who made the best cornbread
or the best sangria. Remember, I was in Spain, so there you go. That was our conversation. But anyways, betting odds are on the screen, guys. So 17% chance for the Galaxy, 61% for Seattle. Again, that doesn't surprise me based off of the historical data that Rob shared with us. 21% for a draw, 22%. Projected goals 1.9, Seattle 2.88. And then the money line is there, plus 500 for the Galaxy, Rob. Oof.
Man, those aren't good.
If someone wants to be a daring betting man, there you go. Plus 380, by the way, for the draw is not bad. And if the Galaxy play a blinder, I could see that result, but they have to play some sort of a blinder, which I'm not seeing. But I'm not going to drop my score prediction first because, well, you're going to go before me. That's for sure.
Look, every time we've said, okay, yeah, this it seems like a tall order, blah blah blah, this and that. Yeah, it usually has been. Okay, but no, we're gonna let our guests go first, actually. So, actually, we're gonna let chat go first because
chat always goes first. Remember that. Let's see a couple of them. So Kyle R says 3-0 Sounders. Leo says 1-1 draw. Again, that's wishful thinking.
Hey, one can dream.
1-3 of Friesen, 0-3 of Tommy. 3-0 Sounders. Let's see. Is there anything else? That's a pretty good spread there, Rob. Pretty good spread. A lot of Sounders wins, not surprisingly.
Well, I'm pretty sure that our guest is. Well, we'll just let him tell it. Ari, what are you calling on this one? Do you think that this might be that trap game that Galaxy fans have been needing, desperately wanting, or do you think Seattle's going to come out and bring the pain again?
Oh man, I usually refuse to give predictions. I hate giving predictions. Partially because MLS is just so hard to prognosticate. Like I always think that based on how like it looks on paper in current form, I know I can kind of gauge how games are going to go, and then it goes the exact opposite. And I'm also superstitious, so I hate being like I'm going to predict a Sounders win and putting that out there, and then if they don't, I feel responsible. But I'll do it for you guys. I'll do it for you guys. I'll give one. I mean, like Seattle really should win this game, having it at home. It's an opponent that they've just gone on the road and beat by combined 6-0. So it's like there's really honestly no excuse for them not to win this game, especially when you throw in the injuries, a couple of which I didn't even know about. Like you're not even going to have Marco Royce out there. Nascimento isn't going to even be out there. You're going to have to deal with Miguel Berry and Christian Ramirez, like Ymar and Jackson Reagan. You would hope that they would be up to handle that. And this team's also just been rolling.
I love the chuckle.
I mean, no shade at the Miguel Berry Christian Ramirez duo.
Shade accepted.
Highly potent duo. Yeah, you're the one who called it lesser of two evils.
Absolutely.
But,
absolutely.
Like, anyway, all that's to say, like, I think like a 2-0 or a 3-1 here for Seattle is what I'm hoping to see, and what I think the expectation should be for the team based on their current form and playing a team that they literally already just beat them twice on the road. So just take care of business at home. That should be the expectation.
Yeah.
Well, Ari's going with that resounding Sounders win.
Peck is out too. Yeah, yellow card accumulation. I'm sad that
that's true.
I'm sad we're not going to get the Nuhu Gabriel Peck matchup because I don't think there's any opposing attacker in MLS that Nuhu just hates more than Gabriel Peck, and I think the feeling is mutual. And so I'm sad that we're not going to get to see that.
Dang, well, that'll be a spicy one for next year for damn sure. Anada, te toca, güey.
Yeah, it's a Galaxy loss. I don't even know if I want to put a number on it. Like we might nick a goal, 3-1, something like that. I mean, especially with Nascimento being out, like that's a huge loss, man. Like he's the guy that can actually like hold up play, because when the Galaxy are good, he's the guy that's occupying both center backs and allows the wingers. I mean, unfortunately, Gabriel Peck isn't available in this game, but honestly, knew who put him in his pocket the last couple. So, I mean, what do you do out there? Do you throw Harbor Miller? Do you throw JP to the right hand side maybe and switch sides? Maybe throw Fagundes on the left. Not sure what you do there, but I mean, the Galaxy have not shown a formula of success, and I don't expect that to continue. I think again, Seattle's just a better team. Full stop. Like there's no other. Let's not get cute or tactical with this. Seattle's a better team, and I think the better team is going to play out again, especially with them being at home on the turf. Those are elements against the Galaxy in a place that we haven't won since 2016, and without a lot of our key players. So again, I think, look, what I will say though, is I think the performance, I'm hoping that the performance from, especially the kids, like that's something I could be proud of, right, as a fan, but that's probably the only moral victory that I'm going to get out of this game, or the only victory, full stop. So
yeah, like you said, not getting cute at all. I'm probably calling a 3-0, 3-1. I'll be very, very happy with, like you said, just a performance where you can go, hey, you know what, they definitely hung with them there today. But I just feel like Seattle just poses so many matchup. Yeah, and they pose so many matchup problems for this Galaxy team, especially with the center backs being out, and they have returning players now. So as bad as they made them look before, now Seattle has even more weapons to throw at the Galaxy. So I really think I'm unfortunately, I have to say that this one is a Galaxy loss. Hopefully, I'm wrong.
If the Galaxy get an early goal, though, that'll be an interesting game. But if Seattle scores the first goal, it's done.
No,
it's
I don't want that to happen, because if that happens, then I'm gonna start hoping. Ari, you understand what that's gonna do to me? Like,
see, I don't even think you want the early goal. If you get the early goal, then there's just a bunch of time for that.
Yeah.
That might
Too
turn
much nerves.
That might turn Seattle up. You got to just
That's true.
keep it 0-0, like troll ball as long as possible. Keep it 0-0, then nick the goal later in the game, and then just sit on it. I think that's how you win the game. It's just tough because, kind of like we were talking about, the way to beat Seattle, the blueprint that's been shown over the last couple of weeks, the Galaxy they're not built to play like that. So that's
correct.
Not at all. I mean, it's Greg Vanney ball to keep the ball and to have possession, whereas you're describing a world in which they would just have to give it up. Not going to happen. Well, chat, you heard it here. We are all calling a Galaxy loss, unfortunately. It hurts to say, but just again, Seattle has the Galaxy's number. Until the Galaxy does something to prove us wrong, that's the way we got to call them. We call them how we see them. Ari, before we wrap it up here, please remind us one more time where the folks can find you and when you guys are on.
Yeah, well, first of all, thanks for having me, guys. It was a lot of fun. Happy to do it. And like I said, I'm gonna hit you guys up next time I need a Galaxy guest. So
we got you.
Come on our show. But yeah, you can find all our audio podcasts on whatever platform, Apple, Google, Spotify, whatever you use. We're on all of them. And then if you just search Lobbing Scorchers on YouTube and sub to our channel, that would be awesome. We're always trying to grow over there. Our Instagram and our TikToks they really heated up over here in Leagues Cup because of all the messy content and the brawl content. So there's good stuff going on over there. And I will plug too as well. We brought our video guy to the Leagues Cup final, and we made a little vlog documentary thing. We did a couple for like the US Open Cup games with Tacoma Defiance earlier this year. That came out pretty cool. So we did one for the Leagues Cup final that's dropping tomorrow. That's gonna be fire. So if you follow us on all those platforms, you'll catch that coming out tomorrow as well.
Nice. Hey, that's gonna be on YouTube, Ari, or all the socials?
Yeah, it'll be on all the socials, but on our YouTube.
So guys, after tomorrow when we publish everything, definitely I will drop all the descriptions and all the links and where you can follow these guys. And whenever that video comes out, it'll be in the description of the video below. But yeah, thanks, Ari. Super appreciate it, man. Super fun.
The brothers at Lobbing Scorchers are dropping new heat.
Go and sub to these guys. Even if you want to hate watch, just sub to these guys.
We welcome all fan bases. We have representatives from plenty of other clubs, but a lot of LAFC people. So we need more Galaxy fam there to counterbalance that.
There we go, guys.
Y'all heard the call, Galaxy fans. Y'all know what to do. We do have a couple of last minute super chats, and we want to say thank you. Kyle R says, thanks, Galaxiana, from the PNW. Going to be a comeback season next season for the Galaxy. Oh man, Lord willing.
From your lips to the Lord's ears.
Looking forward to seeing Pooch play again. Well, that was the big discussion. Is it going to happen this year? Is it going to happen in 2026? It remains to be seen. But you're right. I am looking forward to seeing that man play again. He is the unicorn. He has one of the most incredible skill sets in the league. It'll be good to see him run again. And Fleshpot hits us up with a super chat as well. Says, go Durs.
Like Sounders?
Sounders abbreviation.
Okay. And cool.
These are reps from the
nice
Scorchers chat for sure.
Shout out Big
what
Heck.
up?
Shout out Big Heck for the $2 super, and shout out Thomas Tremblay for the $5 super. Thank you guys. Next time, go ahead and
how did I miss those?
I don't know, Baba. Maybe because there wasn't a comment pinned to it. But so yeah, guys. Thanks for the super chat, but also get a question in there. Ask Ari anything, almost anything. Yeah, almost anything.
Yeah, almost anything, because
I know this is like Lacuna After Dark, but let's gotta keep
it's 10:50.
Yeah, there you go.
Exactly. I mean, it is Lacuna After Dark. So let's wrap it up here, guys. Yep. On Monday, September 15th, we'll bring you a Seattle reaction pod as the Galaxy will seek to get really anything from their trip to the North Pacific, because really anything would be fantastic to get from this game. Even just a measly point would be wonderful. On Thursday, September 18th, we're bringing you an FC Cincy versus Galaxy preview pod. And until we see you again, we want to say thank you one more time to our guest, Ari, Lobbing Scorchers, Sandra at Heart, our Parce Nico. Shout out to you out there. And Ananda, is there anything else to add before we say bye-byes?
Just want to say thanks again to chat. You guys were awesome today. We welcome again, like Ari for his channel, we welcome all MLS fans. So all you Sounders fans, you guys were awesome in the chat, and it was good seeing like the interaction. So that was cool. Truth. Good vibes all around. That's what I love. And Papa, only one thing left to say.
Yeah, only one thing left to say. And Jesus. Please let the Galaxy do well. But Jesus up. Te quiero